Here's something you might not expect. Introverts are crushing it right now at sales. Yes, the quiet ones. The ones who hate small talk. The ones who have to recharge after being around too many people. That's who is winning right now. Now, if you're an introvert like I am, I'm going to show you how you can lean into those strengths. And if you're not an introvert, well, you just might want to become one by the end of this video. Who knows? For years and years, people thought that in order to be good at sales, you had to be socially outgoing, you had to be bubbly and over the top, or maybe even borderline pushy in order to be good at selling products. But I'm here to tell you that has changed. It used to be about loud personalities who could command a room and nonstop talking, but not anymore. So what is working today? Authenticity, consistency, and building connections. This is what's working today. Being authentic, being a real person in a time when AI is making it very hard to determine what is real and what is not. And as an introvert, I find it pretty difficult to be something I'm not. So it's pretty much natural for us to be authentic. It takes a lot of energy to lie or to play a character or to be somebody you're not. So for an introvert, being authentic just comes natural. Consistency. Introverts love routine and knowing what's coming next. And consistency is also doing what you say you're going to do. That's just a trait that a lot of introverts have. And that just happens to be something that is working in sales right now. And connections. Now that might be a little bit surprising when you're talking about introverts. But when we make a connection, there is almost nothing that can take that away. It might take a little while to get there, but the idea is that as an introvert, you're listening, and that creates that bond, that creates that relationship, and it lets people trust you. That's the key right there. My wife and I are both introverts, like in every sense of the word. We are true introverts. And yet, we built a business from the ground up, like starting with nothing, not even necessarily knowing what we were doing. We built ourselves a business in sales where we are among the top selling people in our company. As introverts, how did we do that as introverts? That shouldn't happen, right? That just shouldn't be. But we did it. And we haven't had to be fake. We haven't had to play a role or be somebody that we're not. We've just been ourselves, and it has worked. Now, if you are an introvert like I am, you might have had people telling you your entire life,
"You're not going to be good at sales. Why are you trying to sell products? You're not going to be good at it. You're not going to succeed. You're going to fail miserably. You're going to hate it. You're not going to be able to sell."
I had people tell me that, people that were very close to me, because one could assume or one could argue that selling takes talking, and it takes having an over-the-top personality, and it takes charisma and being just this typical salesperson, a fast talker. If you've had people tell you, or if you've told yourself that you're not cut out for sales, you might want to think again, because a lot has changed. And a lot of those stereotypes and that stereotypical salesperson, that's gone out the window. That's not the way anymore. Now, you might be wondering, what is it that introverts do? Well, introverts have a few specific skills that come in really handy. And first on my list is listening. Introverts are very good at listening because we do not want to do the talking. So that only leaves one other role, and that is to listen to whoever it is that's speaking. And boy, do we like that part. You can really use that to your advantage, because when you're letting the other person talk and explain themselves, and when it comes to sales, let the other person sort of talk about their pains, talk about what they're trying to fix or what they're trying to accomplish. When you're letting that other person talk, they love it. For the most part, humans have one topic that they absolutely love speaking about over anything else, and that's themselves. So as an introvert, as you're allowing that person to talk about themselves, they're loving it. They're loving you. They feel like they're being heard and that you're going to be able to help them. Listening, and I mean truly listening. You can't just be thinking about something else while they're talking. If you're truly listening to them when they're done speaking or when they ask you a question, you'll have that in mind. You know what's going on. You are focused on what they were saying and you are focused on them. That's the important part here, and that's what builds that trust. When somebody trusts you, when somebody likes you, the product pretty much sells itself. Because what it comes down to is you're helping, you're educating them. You're not necessarily pushing a product on them, you're helping them. That builds trust, and trust is everything in business. The next skill on our list, thinking before speaking. Introverts are masters at this. So what this means is that when you are talking, when you are saying something, for the most part, you've thought about it and you're easy to understand, and what you're saying is intentional. Like there's a reason behind it when you're talking. I feel like this is pretty obvious, but when it comes to sales, it can be really easy for somebody that's not an introvert to just keep talking. And either they say something they shouldn't, they assume something, they jump to conclusions, or in some way they make the other person feel uncomfortable, again, not heard. That other person needs to be heard and to know that they're being heard. So as an introvert who is thinking before he or she is speaking, when you do speak and when those thoughts that you're having come out of your mouth, you've thought about those. You've overthought about those, right? You've given that a lot of thought before you speak, before those words come out of your mouth. And I don't have to tell you, that can make a huge difference whether somebody trusts you and believes in you and wants to buy a product from you. Because when you're talking away, it's easy to get yourself into trouble, isn't it? It's easy to say something you shouldn't have and stick your foot in your mouth. So for people in sales that think before they speak, they can be a lot more careful, a lot more intentional with what they're saying. It's calming. There's no hype. There's no fluff. There's not a lot of wasted words or wasted time. That's very important nowadays. Thoughtful conversations. That's something that people are craving today. Next up on the list, helpful. A lot of introverts, not all, I guess we shouldn't generalize here, but a lot of introverts like to be helpful. People pleasers, right? We want people to like us and accept us to a certain extent. You got to draw a line there somewhere. But in sales, this is what makes a difference. You're helpful. You're educating. You're not being pushy. In essence, you're sharing something that you know about or that you love or a product that you use. You're sharing. So it's not so much selling. It's not so much trying to bully somebody around or to be persuasive or to follow a sales process. You're helping them. You're teaching them. You're sharing with them. You're trying to make their life better. And your product just happens to be something that can do that. And finally, because I'm running out of room on my little whiteboard here, no pressure. That kind of goes along with being helpful, but introverts are never going to be the ones that pressure somebody into doing something or making a decision that they don't want to make. Trying to pressure somebody or coerce somebody into doing something or buying something that they don't want to do, that's not going to fly today. There are too many options out there. There's too much information out there on the internet and reviews and all kinds of things that people can get information from that they don't need to get from you, especially if it comes along with a high pressure sales pitch. People don't want that today. So for introverts, this is perfect. We're not going to pressure somebody into something that they don't want to do. We don't want people coming back at us and hating us because we force them to do something. Again, we're helping, we're educating, we're not bullying people into buying a product. That's in part where this comes from. No worries. Want to buy my product? That's great. If not, no worries. That's sort of like a motto that introverts can use and use to their advantage. no worries. That helps people feel better about the decision they're making because they don't have to stress about it. They don't have to feel pressured. They don't have to feel like you're leading them in a direction to just make a sale. And with the tools we have available to us today, things like social media and automation, it's never been easier. You're not cold calling anybody. You're building quietly from your laptop at home, nobody bothering you. You're not bothering anybody else. Technology has made this an introvert's game. Zoom calls instead of in-person meetings. That sounds good, right? Scheduled posts and sharing on social media. Perfect. Making videos at home with nobody watching you, and you can edit out all of those mistakes and you can say exactly what you want to say. It doesn't get any better than that. And who knows, the more you do this as an introvert, the closer you might get to sort of coming out of that shell. You've probably had people asking or begging you for years to just come out of your shell. You can feel comfortable. Just talk. Just be a people person. It's not that easy. It has to happen on your own accord, right? But as you get more confident in sales, as you do more of this and have more success, you naturally sort of start to come out of that shell a little bit, a little tiny bit. Or if you don't want to, you don't have to. So what I'm saying is, if you are an introvert and you've thought to yourself, I can't do this, or I'm failing at this, I can't sell anything, think again. You can. If you're not an introvert and you're watching this video, thank you. I appreciate it. And I hope that it makes you sort of realize that you can use these skills that introverts naturally have. You can learn these skills. You can become a little less extroverted. You can tone it down, probably easier than an introvert can tone it up. Is that a word? Did I just make that up? Sales today, it's just not about being the loudest voice in the room. It's about being the most real. You don't have to change who you are to succeed. I'm telling you that right now. I've had people tell me all my life that I needed to change, that I needed to be somebody that I wasn't, even if I had to pretend or put on an act. But I realized, I got older, I realized I don't have to change. I don't have to be somebody that I'm not. I can just be myself. And so can you. If this video resonated with you, or if it was helpful in any way, which I hope it was, leave me a comment below and just let me know where you're at, what you're struggling with, and let's see what we can do. Maybe we can work together to make it better for you. Leave a comment, maybe a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, maybe think about subscribing to the channel. Or if you'd rather not, no worries. Thank you for watching. I'm Rob with No Worries Network. We'll see you next time.